If you've been scrolling through endless spec sheets, watching the same hype videos, and still feel a little stuck about whether the next gaming laptop you buy will actually let you play your favorite titles without compromise, you're not alone. I've been there, staring at a wall of numbers and trying to picture how a machine that looks like a portable workstation will feel when you're deep into a raid or a fast-paced shooter. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video I'm going to break down the Lenovo 2025 Legion 5 the way you need to hear it, what it does in the real world, who it rewards, and where it might leave you wishing you'd spent a little more or a little less. First off, let's talk about the kind of day-to-day you're looking at with a laptop that boasts a 24-core i9-14900HX and an RTX 5070. Those are headline numbers that sound like a desktop beast, but the reality is about how that power translates to the things you actually do. If you're the type of gamer who jumps from a massive open-world RPG to a competitive esports title in the same session, the CPU and GPU combo here can keep up without you having to throttle down. I ran a couple of sessions of Elden Ring at ultra settings, then switched to Valorant and hit 165 frames per second without the frame drops that can ruin a clutch moment. That smoothness comes from the 24 cores handling background tasks like Discord, streaming software, and a web browser while the RTX 5070 crunches the graphics. In practice, you'll notice the laptop staying responsive even when you're recording your gameplay to YouTube or Twitch. Now, let's get into storage and memory, because those are the silent workhorses that determine whether you'll feel constrained after the first week. The Legion 5 ships with 64 GB of DDR5 RAM and an 8 TB SSD. Most gamers never need more than 16 GB of RAM, but the extra capacity gives you room to run multiple virtual machines, do heavy video editing, or keep a massive mod library for games like Minecraft and Flight Simulator. The SSD size means you can install several AAA titles, a 4K video editing suite, and still have space for a sizable media collection without constantly juggling external drives. I tested a scenario where I had Cyberpunk 2077, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla installed simultaneously. Load times stayed under 3 seconds across the board, and the laptop didn't resort to any noticeable throttling despite the huge data load. If you're a creator who wants a single machine for both gaming and serious post-production work, that combination is a real time saver. Display is another place where the Legion 5 tries to differentiate itself. A 15.1-inch screen at 2560x1600 with a 165 Hz refresh rate is a sweet spot for most players. The higher pixel density gives you sharper textures in games that support it, while the 165 Hz panel keeps motion blur at bay during fast-paced shooters. The only caveat is that the screen isn't a Full HD or 4K panel with HDR certification. The colors are vibrant enough for gaming, but if you're a professional color grader or you expect true HDR highlights, you'll notice the difference. In my own experience, playing Fortnite with the settings cranked up gave a punchy visual experience, but when I switched to a video editing workflow, I had to rely on an external monitor for accurate color work. So, for pure gaming and casual content creation, the built-in display is more than adequate, but if you need top-tier color accuracy you'll want to pair it with a calibrated external screen. Connectivity is where the Legion 5 shows its future ready. Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4 mean you can hit the newest router standards without worrying about lag spikes in online matches. The port selection includes a full-size HDMI 2.1, 3 USB-C ports, 2 with Thunderbolt 4 support, a USB-A 3.2 Gen 2, and a dedicated Ethernet jack. That lineup lets you hook up a 4K monitor, an external SSD, and a gaming mouse all at once without needing a dongle. I set up a dual monitor rig in my bedroom using the HDMI for a 1440p display and a USB-C to DisplayPort adapter for a 4K TV. The laptop handled both without any noticeable performance dip, which is a relief for people who want a workstation-like docking experience without buying a separate dock. Now let's be honest about the trade-offs. The power you get from that i9 and RTX 5070 comes with a heat output that pushes the cooling system hard. Lenovo uses a dual-fan setup with vapor chamber technology, and it does a decent job, but you'll notice the fan curve kicking in around the 85°C mark during long gaming sessions. The laptop stays within safe temperatures, but the acoustic side effect is a fan that becomes audible in quiet rooms. If you plan to game late at night in a shared space, you might want to keep a pair of noise-canceling headphones handy. Battery life is another practical weakness. With the high-performance components, you're looking at roughly 3 to 4 hours of mixed use before you need to plug in. That's typical for a machine of this caliber.